the last time you thanked a bee? Probably not ever, because it's totally weird to talk to bugs. We think that we can all learn a lesson from the bee movie though. Let's all start thanking bee and save the bees the way they are saving us. Personally, and I don't know about you guys, I am a human. I rely on bees for so many things, one of them being living. Now, one of my favorite facts about bees is also one of the funniest. At least, I think it's funny. It certainly wasn't for the scientists that discovered it. Now, the chemical that makes a banana smell like a banana is the same that is inside a bee sting. Now, this chemical that sends surrounding bees into panic attack mode is in a banana. Now, this means if you were to be eating a banana, say, near a beehive, well, please don't do that. It would kill the bees that sting you, and overall, you would be in a lot of pain. Now, whether or not we like bees, it remains to be true that we need them. You and I would not last long without their help. We all need food to eat, clean air to breathe, and honey to heal. Bees might not make the world go round, but they do make it livable. Today, we will share with you 3 ways in which bees keep the human race alive. 1. Bees are responsible for 70% of the foods we eat, according to Greenpeace. Bees pollinate. Bees.technoscience.php says that when a bee collects nectar and pollen from the flower of a plant, some pollen from the stamens, the male reproductive organ of the flower, sticks to the hairs of her body. Now, when she visits the next flower, some of this pollen is rubbed off onto the stigma, or the tip of the pistil, which is the female reproductive organ of the flower. When this happens, fertilization is possible, and the fruit carrying seeds can develop. Essentially, the bee is a fruit and flower stork. Like a stork, it brings birth, renewal, and life. Bees help the birth and growth of most of the foods humans consume. Without bees to pollinate, not only would the economy suffer due to dying crops, but so would we. As it is, according to abfnet.org, honeybees contribute nearly $20 billion to the value of U.S. crop production. Now, Greenpeace also says that every 3rd bite of food can be contributed to the hard work of a bee. They also mention that honeybees, wild and domestic, perform about 80% of all pollination worldwide.
Bees are directly responsible for the purity of the air that we breathe. Consider this. Bees spread plants and keep them alive and healthy. Plants make oxygen and purify the air that we breathe. Less bees will mean that there's less plants. Less plants means less air purification, and more illnesses and deaths related to pollution. Bees are the doctors providing us with vaccines. The doctors don't make the vaccines, but they do ensure that they get to us. This is essentially what bees do. They don't make the oxygen, but they ensure that it gets to us. BrightHub.com says that one of the simplest ways to reduce the effects of pollution is to increase flora. Trees, shrubs, an herb garden, houseplants, vegetable crops, and decorative flowers, along with other plants, help reduce pollution. Bees do all of this for us. My aunt is an asthmatic, but she is also a beekeeper. She swears by it that the bees keep the air around her home clean of pollutants. According to Albert Einstein, if the bee disappears from the surface of the earth, man would have no more than 4 years to live.
Honey that is produced by by bees is actually used for a multitude of medical purposes. According to a pediatrician who goes by the name of Dr. Keith K, one way in which honey helps is to actually heal a wound that does not respond to your traditional medicine. Medical news today says honey has antiseptic and antibacterial properties. Modern medical science has managed to find uses for honey in chronic wound management and combating infection. NCBI states that honey is used in wound healing as an antibacterial, an anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and an antiviral agent. The medical news today also informs the audience that an infection is the effect of a foreign organism in the body. Types of infection include bacterial, fungal, viral, protozoan, parasitic, and even prion disease. These infections can range from mild inflammation in one person to an epidemic. And this can be a serious issue, for any human. Honey can help actually combat these issues. Honey can mean the difference keeping a limb or you actually losing a limb. It's a completely natural healing substance that helps the body. I actually have a cousin who got into a pretty bad motorcycle accident, and she ended up needing a lot of skin grafts, and she just had to be very wary of her infections. She's actually deathly allergic to penicillin, so this limited her medical treatment. She was actually a big fan too of natural healing methods, so on top of her hospital visits for things like physical therapy or skin grafting, she applied honey constantly. She ended up drinking it, she ate it, she bathed in it, and she actually did a lot of things to it, and she actually applied it to her wounds directly. On top of it having incredible healing properties, it also was phenomenal for her skin. So while she was healing her skin, she was also improving it and kept it from infection, which could have been deadly to her and harmed her in many ways. So honey saves humans, so let's save the bees. Today, we hope you have discovered the ways in which bees keep us alive by first bees being responsible for 70% of the food that we consume, and secondly by the bees purifying the air that we breathe, and thirdly by bees being good for our medical treatment and different medical purposes. Thank you.